Welcome to Chamber Chat. I am your host, Shawna Harris, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce. The Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit 501c6 organization and is designated as a 5-star accredited chamber by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The mission of the chamber is to promote and advocate for business in the Conroe Lake Conroe area. Chamber Chat is our monthly platform to share upcoming chamber events, learn more about our members, and learn from our members as they share their expertise with the community. The chamber is located near downtown Conroe, and you can find us online at conroe.org and, of course, all social media outlets. Get ready for today's show because we have a few great guests for you. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are here with our friends from Woodforest National Bank and Better Bookkeepers, and also have Courtney Budra here, our Director of Special Events, and we're going to talk about ATHENA. So let's start with Rebecca. I'd like to understand a little bit more and tell our audience, why Woodforest, what's it important for them to be involved with with things going on in the community, especially the chamber?
So being in business for over 40 years, being involved in the community obviously is very important, but also supporting women in leadership. You'll find a well-represented number of women in leadership and management positions across the bank. And then for me personally, it's a special cause just because as a woman, I've had great leaders and mentors, not only in the bank, but in the community who have poured time and energy and resources. And I feel like it's just such an important cause for fellow women all across Montgomery County.
That's awesome. And Randie, from your perspective, and we appreciate you being the committee chair this year. I think you were voluntold a little bit, but you missed a meeting, and then you came back, and there you go. But Better Bookkeepers has also been a great sponsor, and you've been in the process, I think, from the inception of this. So tell us, why you think this program and this event is special and what it means to you guys.
Well, funny story, when I very first heard ATHENA, I was like, what is the Conroe Chamber? What are they doing? ATHENA going into mythology, right? And then I really got to understand what that ATHENA Leadership Award was about. And like Rebecca said, to just look at this amazing community we live and work in. And we know we have such a tremendous group of leaders, but then to look at the female leaders and the role that they play in this community in bringing up that next generation. And so I said, on board, 100%. And when Woodforest was involved, I have clients who bank with Woodforest, and a lot of times they say I bank with Woodforest because they're so involved in the community. And that's important. And what is the chamber other than, supporting businesses in the community?
Absolutely. Well, Courtney, why don't you give us kind of the overview of the event, and then we'll talk about some of I'd like to, for everyone to know kind of the history of where it started a few years ago, which you'd have a little bit more than we have, and then we'll launch into what this year's event's shaping up to be.
Yeah, so the event itself is a luncheon held on July 28th, but really there's so much that goes on before the actual luncheon. The Chamber partners with ATHENA International, which is a global nonprofit whose mission it is to empower and recognize female leaders within local communities all over the world. And so we partner with them to license out this leadership award, and we receive nominations from all across the county, women in all walks of life, all different industries, all different ages, all different areas of expertise. But the three main criteria that we look for in these ATHENA Award nominations is that they have achieved a high level of professional leadership and excellence. They give back philanthropically in Montgomery County, and they actively support and mentor women and girls in the community. So we have already been receiving a handful of nominations for the award. The nomination process is online. Nomination window closes Memorial Day at midnight. And so what we do with all of those nominations is we send them all back to ATHENA International, who reads through all of them and vets them based on the criteria that we just talked about. And they choose 5 finalists and the award recipient, who is revealed at the luncheon on July 28th. So the luncheon is really held to recognize all of the ladies who are nominated for the award, to honor the finalists, and to give this big grand reveal of who the award recipient is this year. So there are a couple different elements that are involved in the event itself, but really the process goes in a lot more before July 28th.
Well, when you have great committee members like we do sitting across the table, it goes a little bit easier. So, Randie, tell us a little bit of kind of the history of what you saw in the first event, from the cobblestones of what was that?
Heather's
Glen
Yeah.
to where we're going now, and what you've seen as it continues to grow over the last, it's going on 5 years right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that first event, we were hopeful to fill the room, and it was standing room only. And we said, well, maybe we'll get 50 people to show up. No, and it was just so beautiful with everybody wearing white, and it just was an event that stood out. What was amazing historically, from day one, we said, let's send off the nominations to this, the ATHENA group, because they don't know the community. They're truly going based on the wording of that nomination. So if you know someone out there that deserves this award, get a good writer on side of you, because they're reading through every single nomination. And that's been since day one, the history of it. But then we moved on to Madeira Estates, which was another beautiful venue. We are blessed in this community to have some amazing venues. And the first year went great, and then COVID hit, and we had to go virtual, which was also fun. We had a lot of fun with it. And then last year we were busting at the seams. And so thank you because I know that was work between the two of you that went and found a new venue for this year. It's the Luminaire, right? I'll let you give the details of exactly where that's located, but we're so excited for this, show off this new venue that we have right here in the area.
Yeah, we talk about logistics a lot, and having an event in July, having an event where we have a holding spot in the air conditioning, preferably, yes. Because, and so, yeah, and two, we already had maxed out kind of the space there. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a great venue. I honestly see this as becoming one of our marquee events, because it's so special, and it's so, as you guys have alluded to as well, and there's not any argument in the fact that I've hired great ladies to work for me as well. But I think it just showcases a different element that not a lot of other organizations do in our community. And this year we have a little twist. We're having a little special event, and you've got some history there as well. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys have talked as a committee. Tell us a little bit of how we're going to try to spread the wings and the hug of ATHENA to impact younger females, to have maybe a glimmer of hope to look at things a little bit differently as they're coming through high school.
Well, for the past 10 years, I've been involved with the Executive Women's Alliance here in Montgomery County, and they have a mentoring program, Women of Vision, and it's girls, sophomores through seniors in Conroe High School. And once a month during the school year, we go and have a session and teach them about the different aspects of professionalism, the business, or even if it's in the trade world. But you still need to have proper speech and communication with your body language, all different. The finances, you got to take care of your own finances, right? If you're going to be successful in life, you can't just go shopping all the time, even though that's so much fun. But the Women of Vision program, so we decided this year, let's open up and show that world to these girls. And the committee all agree that this is a great, because there's several mentoring programs in this community, but this one is very specific to females, to show these young females, high school students, what they can be and do in the future, and they could maybe see themselves in those shoes. And so we're so excited. We'll have a table of these young ladies in attendance. I know the mentors of Executive Women are super excited, and we're going to have a mystery pool at the event. And in that mystery pool, any funds raised by that pool, whether it's wine or blingy items or just fun items, it's a mystery. All those funds will be donated back to the scholarship program of Women of Vision. And it's just so near and dear to my heart because I was on that board and I represented the mentor program for about 3 years. So to see it come full circle and another organization I'm involved with help each other out, that's what this community is so good at.
Awesome. Rebecca, being aligned with our title sponsor, which we're so gracious for, tell me how that makes you feel, being a part of the committee, but also seeing the impact of what your gift. It's more than a sponsorship. It's really about changing the trajectory of a young girl's life, and maybe, I know you've been around Woodforest a long time, so you probably had some mentors that helped you through, and where do you see yourself, if that person didn't give you that nudge, that support?
Absolutely. I think back on my career, and being able to be here today was because of female leaders that took the time and, coached me and talked to me and really gave me opportunities. So it's just a natural alignment and, an honor to be able to be on the committee for this event. And just overall, there's many things that make me proud to be a Woodforest banker, but this is one especially that truly is just extra special and touches my heart and makes me extremely proud. And it's also always enjoyable at the end of the event to hear from other women in the community celebrating others, and just how much they enjoy this particular event, to your point of how unique that it is. So it's really just all around a joy to be a part of this.
That's cool. And a lot of times when we do these things, you never know the impact until years later. And so I'm hoping, my hope is in a number of years, the chamber gets a letter from one of these young ladies in 15 years, 10 years from now that says, I was sitting at this table, I was a part of this mentoring group, I heard the speaker speak, and the people around me wrapped me with love and support, and that helped me get through where I wanted to go and painted a brighter picture for me as I was moving forward. So
Look at you creating goosebumpies.
wow. Well, they always say, numbers tell, but stories sell. And, I think it's the testimonies that we as an organization too need to do a better job of capturing. But, we never know the impact we're having, until later. And so I know that this is going to have that as well. So Ms. Courtney, tell us a little bit more about the event, remind us of the date, time, and where it's going to be.
The date is July 28th. It will be from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Luminaire venue. That is kind of on the south side, I want to say, of Lake Conroe. It's a Montgomery address. But we are looking for donations for the mystery poll that Randie was talking about. We're looking for anything from wine to luxury bath items to jewelry, accessories. Our goal is to have 100 items minimum in this poll, and we will be selling ticket polls for $20. So that's a goal of $2,000 to be able to give back to the Scholarship Fund for Women of Vision. So that's our minimum goal. We are going to knock it out. Randie and Rebecca have already been hitting the ground running, securing all of these donations, and the rest of the committee is too. And so we're going to have a great time and be able to give back quite a bit.
So let's go back to the scholarships. What exactly, what's that structure, and what does that look like for one of these young girls that might get one of these scholarships?
So the scholarship program, it's awarded to the seniors only that are graduating the program. They enter the program as a sophomore. And once they reach a senior, as long as they've been in attendance at the program, so attendance is a big calculator of, they are eligible to apply for the scholarship. And they have extended it that they don't have to go to a 4-year program. It could be a 2-year program. It could be a trade program if they choose to go, and they have a talent in cosmetology. And so they have a true application they have to fill out with references, and then the executive women have a team that review those scholarships. And then once they're registered, the checks are written directly to the schools
That's cool.
once they're
The more they
registered.
pull, the more impact we can
Yeah,
have, right?
I'm excited about the nomination process this year and that it's now electronic. It's all online versus those handwritten nomination forms of years
Right.
past.
Well, technology sometimes is your friend, and sometimes it takes a little time to catch up with that. So,
Yep.
but I appreciate everything you guys do for the chamber outside of this event, but especially for this event, because like I said, I can just see this continue to grow into one of our marquee events. We've got, not ready to announce who the speakers are yet, but we will have a dynamic speaker. And as I've alluded to in board meetings and others, is I really want this program to just to self-fund itself, to where that money goes back into maybe, in addition to the pools, being able to take a portion of that and give to the scholarships, but then also bring in some high-powered national level speakers to where these young ladies that we're talking about, and you guys as well, or have an opportunity to do that. Because then people will buy tickets for the speaker, but then they'll be,
Added bonus.
yeah, they'll have that exposure to what the chamber's doing with this program, and I think that's just it goes both ways. So, anything you want to add before we end this?
Yep.
This
If
segment?
anyone has a woman out there in Montgomery County who you're looking to nominate, head to the chamber's website. It's www.conroe.org.
Yep.
Thought I said it wrong. And you'll find the ATHENA event on our events calendar, July 28th, and you will find a link there to nominate a woman.
Thank you very much. Any parting comments from you, Ms. Rebecca?
No, just thank you for having us, and we're excited for July 28th.
Ms.
Yep.
Randie?
Again, thank you. It's a beautiful event. It's a fun event. And then hopefully we'll added that feel-good piece to the event.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here, ladies. Again, appreciate all you guys do for the chamber, supporting us as a staff, and then also through your businesses and the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Chamber Chat. I am your host, Shawna Harris, with the Conroe Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Courtney Budra, the Director of Marketing, and Scott Harper, the President. And we are joined with our guest, Stephen Hall, with Crown Brand Building Packaging. Tell us a little bit about Crown and yourself and what you do there.
That's an easy question. So, Crown Packaging, better known as Crown Cork and Seal, the founder of our company, invented the bottle cap in 1892. Here in Conroe, we make 12-ounce aluminum cans, 2.4 billion to be exact, maybe 2.5 billion this year. Our largest customer is Dr. Pepper. We'll make 1.2 billion Dr. Pepper cans. We don't make Crown Royal in Conroe. We make Crown aluminum cans in Conroe. Been around since 1987.
So how long have you been with the company yourself?
I've been with Crown 9 years. This is my fourth location in 9 years, and this is my favorite location. So I've been in Conroe for a little over 4 years now, 4.5, and it's, I can say that this is truly the best place that I've worked and lived in the United States.
So tell us a little bit about the philanthropic side of community support that Crown supports, and I know you've taken it to a new level as well, especially here in Conroe, and then also through the chamber and other things that you've gotten involved with, such as the Montgomery County Fair and some other activities.
So it's a little late in the day to be using those big words, Scott, philanthropic. But I probably can figure that word out. But one of the missions when I came to this side of Houston, because I was in Sugar Land before, was to be actively involved in the community and get the Crown name out there. So over the years, we started out with just a chamber membership, and every year we've increased our sponsorship dollars and our activity. We've also got involved with the city. In 2021, we were sponsor of Kids Fest, Christmas Tree Lighting, Christmas Parade, Lobster Fest, the ATHENA. We've done numerous activities. We've donated Crown Water. Last year, Crown has donated or sponsored probably close to $70,000 in the community. We donated in December $50,000 to the Montgomery County Food Bank, which was a great sustainability project, as we're constantly looking for opportunities to save money and impact sustainability in the environment. So with the partnership with the food bank, we were able to reduce their kilowatts by changing their lights out to LED lights. So they were able to save $12,000. And for every dollar that the food bank can save, it's 5 meals. So it was over 60,000 meals they were able to provide. We've held a number of food. The food bank is technically probably my plant's adopted charity. We've done that 50,000. We sponsored 2 other events with them, Run for Hunger, and another thing that escapes me right now. We've held 4 food drives last year. We donated 1,500 pounds of food from my employees and at least 15,000 cans of Crown purified drinking water. So actually, I just was contacted by the food bank earlier in the week looking for preparation for the next hurricane, whenever that may be, to stage water at 2 different food locations. So for emergency preparedness, so they have it available for the needy whenever something comes out.
That's cool. Well, we appreciate the support and all that you do, because you give back, and it's not for the notoriety. It's like you said, the sustainability and just really the education about recycling, because that was a big endeavor this year. Tell us about the impact and what the big brass from Crown thought when they came and attended the Montgomery County Fair, because I think that was one of the first times that I've seen them personally take all together, that just didn't come in and look at your plant and leave. They actually attended an event with you.
Yeah, the timing was just perfect because they were in town for a safety conference. So I was able to bring them over and show them where it's the first time that we were a sponsor at the Montgomery County Fair. And during those talks about should we sponsor and how much should we sponsor, I was shocked to know that Montgomery County Fair has never recycled an aluminum can in the 65 years that it had, the first 64 years of the fair, which is absolutely amazing to me, being in the aluminum can business. So we sponsored the official recycler on kind of short notice for us, but we will. We've only got 16,000 cans back, which is probably less than 1% of the alcohol consumed there.
That's 110 at the barbecue cook-off.
Yeah. So we definitely will up our game next year. We're looking for an opportunity, because Montgomery County and in the city of Conroe, people aren't educated on recycling here. I lived all over this country, and we've recycled everywhere I went. And here, there's no recycling bins downtown. There's no recycling bins at the fair. We had to provide them, and I didn't provide enough. Next year, we're working on, with my corporate sustainability team, a education booth. So we will hand out Crown water. We will educate the masses, especially during the day with young kids that go over there, the benefits of recycling. Because at the end of the day, 80% of all aluminum ever made is recycled. If you look how the rest of the world recycles aluminum beverage cans, most of the world is at 75% or higher. The United States is at 45% of the aluminum cans made are recycled, and most of that's in the Northeast, where you have to pay a deposit. Since there's no deposit here, people just throw them away and don't even think about it. But it's a huge opportunity, because if you recycle this can, it will get melted down back into aluminum, and it has it's a 100% life cycle. It gets turned right around. All of my scrap from my process gets sold back to my suppliers, and they just put it right back in, whether it's printed or it's raw aluminum. So
that's cool. So tell us a little bit about the story. We're going to shift to Tastefest, because you're coming in as a title sponsor, and the first time as we were rolling out Tastefest under the old regime, it didn't really necessarily click with you and what your direction of your company wanted to do. But then when we had to kind of go to a hybrid opportunity that Courtney will talk a little bit more about here in a few minutes, you latched onto that, and I think that was there's a good message there and understanding of the difference of when we have to make an adjustment with an event, you're able to spin it a little differently on your side and say, hey, we can get behind that because. What was that for you?
Let me take a step back. Part of our membership in the chamber, I utilize it for two different things: to get the Crown name out in the community for my future employees, and to bring my current employees, show them what we're doing, actively involved, and get them out of the office to go for breakfast or, have drinks at 5 afterwards. So it's a dual threat for me. So it's a great opportunity. So when Tastefest came up, it was, in the past, I've never was at a Tastefest, but to go into a room and just walk around didn't really appeal to me. But under the current event, it really appealed to me because I can purchase tickets, get tickets to the sponsorship, and have, part of my 150 people visit downtown Conroe, all the places that have signed up for it, and see exactly what's going on in the community. So not only can we support the chamber, we can also support local businesses because, I take my guys out for lunch a couple times a week, and 99% of the time we come somewhere in downtown because we want to support the community that we work in. So Tastefest was a perfect opportunity. The way you're currently doing it is a perfect match for us because my people will love to go to all those events.
So Courtney, tell us kind of the transition and why. I know you gave a great overview of why we shifted it today with with our Maximize Our Membership group, but tell the people that are listening and will listen to this show kind of why we had to make that shift and what you're hearing back from the restaurants that are involved.
Yeah, so historically what Tastefest was one big one-day event out at the Lone Star Convention Center where all of our food and beverage members would have a booth giving away free samples, showing off their products, and it was very well attended. It was one of the most beloved community events in Conroe. There would be between 1,500 and 2,000 people attending. So it was a great turnout for the chamber and the community in general. Because of COVID, it was canceled the past 2 years. And so this is the first year we're bringing Tastefest back since 2019. And we originally were going to go with the same concept that we just talked about. The feedback that we got from a lot of our restaurants in the food and beverage industry was that it's still going to be a really hard ask for them to be able to supply that much product, to have to pull staff away from their stores. A lot of the smaller mom and pop places would have to close down their restaurant that whole night to be able to have enough staff and resources for Tastefest, and that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to support businesses and drive traffic through their doors, and so we rethought the event. And so what we're doing now is a month-long concept where with one taste pass is what we're calling it, that you will pick up from the launch party, which I'll talk more about in a second. With that one taste pass, you'll be able to visit over 20 different participating food and beverage restaurants and bakeries and cafes and breweries all throughout June. So you'll take your taste pass and redeem it at whoever the participating place is. They will check it to indicate that you've redeemed their tasting, and then you'll have the entire month to kind of hop around and visit all these places. So you're still getting the same complimentary tasting that you would have been receiving at the traditional event, but this time you're going to be able to experience their atmosphere and see where they're located and meet the people who work there and get that great service. And so the hope is that you're going to find your new favorite restaurant. You're going to hopefully go to places that you've never been before. Maybe you've never even heard of them. Some of them are brand new restaurants that haven't even opened yet. They will by the time this event starts. But that's what we're really trying to do, is drive traffic to our members and let you find your new favorite place. The caveat to that, the hybrid part that Scott alluded to, was that We do have other food and beverage members who are not restaurants. They don't have a dining option where you can go in and sit down at a restaurant and be waited on. Those are our caterers, they're kind of fast food places, they are grocery stores, meat markets. So we're going to have a launch party on June 2nd at the Lone Star Convention Center, which will be a little bit of a scaled down version of the traditional Tastefest. Those caterers, meat market, etc., they'll have their booth space giving away their samples, and sponsors will have booth space available to them as well. But we're really trying to incorporate everyone and showcase everyone in the best fit for them. So we're really excited. We've so far sold over 600 tickets, taste passes that you will pick up at the launch party on June 2nd. You'll get to taste all of the tastings from all of the vendors there, get your money's worth from the launch party alone, and then you'll have until June 30th to use up all of your taste pass redemptions.
Well, it's going to be a great event, and I think just the new concept and really what the Chamber's about is listening to what our members need, and that's what we've done here, and have created this hybrid opportunity to do so. Shawna, we've tried some new marketing this year through Community Impact and put some QR codes. Tell us a little bit about, because I hear that the last one we did with Tastefest is gaining a little bit of traction.
It is. I haven't checked recently, but we have over 200 scans on the QR code that was there, so there's definitely some interest, and we're excited about the new opportunity. I think what I like the most is that the restaurants that you get to go into instead of being at the convention center, not only do you get their atmosphere, but you get to see their full menu, and at that moment have the opportunity to try something else in addition to the samples. So yeah, the feedback on the community impact ads has been good. I'm excited about advertising there and spreading this community-wide event to more than just our membership.
That sounds good.
So at the kickoff party, will we be providing purified Crown drinking water to visitors?
Absolutely,
Great.
100%. No other water will do.
And we will have some recycling centers set up so that we can
Thank you.
capture that aluminum can.
Thank you.
We got to model the behavior that you want, but yes, you will have that. I'm sure you'll have staff there that can man that, so you can do the tasting yourself.
Yeah. Oh yes, we will. We will.
Well, one of the things I want to say to you, Steve, is I think you do one of the best jobs I've ever seen of a leader incorporating your staff into the things that you do, and you alluded to that, with this switch of being able to buy tickets and get them to come in, and because you bring different, and it seems like every time you bring them, they win something. So I don't know.
They love that.
They do. They walk away with merchandise
door
and
prizes.
some door prizes. But from the morning mingles to the fun after fives and to this event, and then also, I don't know how many tables you bought for Lobster Fest, but you get a lot of people involved in your organization. I think that creates an internal culture that's second to none. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you. When you talk about Lobster Fest, it's a big deal for us, and this was the most tickets we got, and I wasn't able to utilize them all because that's one of the 3 weeks in the whole year that we shut one line down in the plant. And to avoid the conflict, it was my team's idea to move my maintenance to the following week so more people could participate in Lobster Fest live.
So you need. So what I'm hearing is you need more tables.
We may need more tables this
Awesome.
year because now they don't have the excuse that they're going to have to be at work. It was their idea to move it out.
Courtney's already made a note over here and underlined it a few times. So, well, we appreciate all you do. One, as a board member, also two, as just a community leader, and all the different things that you do to give back. And just a perfect example of. I think we'd be a better place if more people took the same approach that you did, leading your organization. If you make Conroe a better place just by providing that. It's a quality of life thing, I think. So, anything else you want to last parting shots? To our chairman, Cody Spence, or anything like that.
No parting shots for Cody because he will be providing food for me in the next 2 weeks. So at work, so I can't really have him do any shots at him. But part of my mission every year is what do we do differently? And in 2022 and 2023, our goal, Conroe's goal, my team's goal, is all about sustainability. How do we reduce my greenhouse gases? That's one of my missions by 2030. I have to reduce greenhouse gases by 20% across the board. So that's electric, that's water, that's natural gas usage, and it's all about recycling too. Our goal of zero to landfill is going to be hard to come by, but the team is really working hard on reducing all of my consumables from greenhouse gases. And part of that goal is the feel-good side of it is education of sustainability. And I have some corporate people. Actually, I'm having a meeting with the fair, Brian and Cody, concerning how do we get the message out on sustainability? How do we educate Montgomery County and Conroe on what the value of recycling can? We were out at Margaritaville golfing, my team, a couple of weeks ago, separate from the chamber event, and I asked the guy, "What do you do with your aluminum cans that people throw in those little bins?" "Oh, we throw them away." I said, "Why?" "They're sticky. We don't want to be bothered." So really, so that's the barrier that this county has to overcome, and the city has to overcome, and our elected officials to really care about the environment for your kids, our grandkids, for the future of the planet. So we really need to focus on sustainability. It's part of my day-to-day life that I deal with every day during my working hours, and I just think it's an important part of this community. That the one thing that this community is lacking is a sustainability goal of what we're doing for the environment for the future. Conroe is truly a great place to live. I lived in Sugar Land. I lived outside Chicago. I lived outside of Boston. I lived outside of Baltimore, and I grew up in Pennsylvania. And this, as my wife says, I'm always welcome to come back and visit the house. I'll pay for it if I have to leave here.
Yeah.
So this is a great place to live.
Well, we appreciate all you do, like I said before, and if you help, if you need help getting that message out, just lean on us, because I know a girl. She can get that done for you. So.
I'm also very passionate about recycling, so I support this message. And just a quick testimony, as recognition has come out on our social media channels for Crown being a sponsor to many things, a couple of posts have received employee comments, multiple, expressing what a great place it is to work for you, for Crown. So. I think that's great testimony. That does not happen very often.
Yes, it's because the people that work for me spend a lot of hours making a lot of cans, and it's important to them that we're active in the community that they work and live in. So
they appreciate that for sure.
We want to be good steward of that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for your leadership, your sponsorship, and just your friendship. We appreciate you and more than you ever know. So, thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Yes, and for Tastefest tickets or sponsorship opportunities, you can go to our website, conroe.org. And do you have anything else for that?
Tickets are $25 for chamber members. You'll get your money's worth from the launch party alone. Yep. $40 for non-chamber members. So come see us. Come see all of our food and beverage members.
Absolutely. All right, and we'll be right back. Thank you, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. I am your host, Shawna Harris, the Director of Marketing for the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber. I'm here with Courtney Budra, the Director of Special Events, and Scott Harper, the President. And we are talking today with Marisela with WorkFaith. And why don't you introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us about WorkFaith and how you got started there.
Thank you, Shawna. Thank you, everyone. Yes, my name is Marisela Jimenez. I joined WorkFaith just summer 2021, and I came across WorkFaith because I was helping people find employment. COVID happened, and many people lost their jobs, and I remember being at the gym, and this couple is talking about having a hard time finding employment. And I remember driving on 45 North, and so this banner that said WorkFaith, have you lost hope? Call us. And I remember snapping a picture because I was driving. 2 weeks later, it just happens that I heard this conversation, and I said, I know a company that can help you. But before doing that, I decided that I wanted to Google the organization myself before I recommended this couple. Long story short, I fell in love with the mission. The mission is really a faith-based organization And this is really for anyone who desires long-term employment. So the key is long-term employment. And I reached out, and I said, hey, I have some people that are looking for employment, and I was the one recruited. So I was asked to come and join the organization, while I was actually being the one trying to connect people to the organization for employment. And so that's what they do. They were founded in 2006 as a nonprofit, faith-based organization, 610 to 90 in Houston. And the board members to this very day are still very, very faithful to supporting the organization. The foundation is really to help people who need a second chance, people who have been released from jail and need help and need a second chance. But because COVID happened, many people needed employment. They needed how to build a resume, how to connect with digital resources, right? And so many people who had worked for their employer 20 years, they did not have a need for a resume. In WorkFaith does that. WorkFaith has this training, it's called Job Search Accelerator, and helps people from the beginning through the end, and then transitions them to coaching so they can be ready for interviews. And I'm the last person in part of the model, which is connecting them with the employer. Once I know what is it that the person needs, what are the person looking for. If the person has a specific specialty, then I knock doors with employers and say, are you hiring? And one of the things that we do make sure to do is that the organization helps anyone who needs employment to get hired with an employer that is going to offer livable wages and benefits, and that is going to be long-term. Because we have those situations where some individuals have gotten jobs on their own, but don't have those benefits, don't have those livable wages. And we are in partnership with United Way, and United Way has identified 13 regions in the area of Harris County, Montgomery, and other counties. And the goal is that we help break down the cycles of poverty by helping people find long-term employment with employers that will offer those benefits. And we begin to disrupt those cycles of poverty, unemployment, and dependency on other social programs, so we can have these families become independent.
So tell me how hard it is for somebody that has been incarcerated, that is looking for that second chance, because there are a lot of organizations that won't give them that second chance. So walk us through some of those barriers or obstacles that they face, and are there certain organizations and companies out there that embrace that and have been welcoming to being able to place people in their business?
Sure, Scott. So that is absolutely a barrier, right? And what we have identified many times when someone applies for employment and they get excited, oftentimes human resources runs the background check after the fact. What we are suggesting as I meet with the employers is that identify the timeline. So the moment the candidate applies for employment, at what time is this candidate going to have a background check? And we're asking that they are informed in the beginning what will disqualify them. Fortunately, because of labor laws, many employers that we're working with, they do offer a second chance. And there are certain situations when the employer says if it's an open case and it's sensitive and it's a certain case that we cannot have this individual around children or vulnerable populations, that may be a disqualifier. For the most part, the candidates that we are working with, the clients that we support and match them with employers, they get a second chance. It's about 40% of them currently. And so we have other partnerships with other organizations, but we don't go into the background, what happened, how it happened. We find them where they are. We prepare them, we restore them in the hope that there is a new beginning, that they are restored. And so we know that the moment they are transitioned from where they were to a new beginning, life has changed. And so as a matter of fact, October 20th is our biggest, was called By Faith Breakfast. And what we do we break bread. It's a big event at the Hilton Americas in downtown Houston, and I would love to invite you. And so what we do, we bring those individuals that have been broken. They had been rejected by society. They thought that was their families, even many of them rejected them. We find them where they are broken, and we offer them that process of restoration and hope again. Some of them have started their own businesses. They have gone to work for employers. They have done so well. They're doing well, and we will be introducing some of them. For the sake of time, we only have about 3 testimonies to share. We also use that opportunity to use their testimonies in person, and the people that support us, so churches, community partners, they get to experience face-to-face, and they get to hear the testimonies of these individuals that were restored. And then it's a great opportunity for the community and businesses to just connect and realize that together we can accomplish so much more. But yes, those are the barriers, the stigma, and then informing them about what their rights are and that life is still beautiful if they are willing to just take the step.
So tell me how some of your background and how that connected, because obviously you're passionate about your job. You can tell the way you're speaking, how you went from in a gym talking to people, seeing a banner, which you shouldn't have taken a picture while you're driving, but that's okay. We'll get past that one. Then to working for them. There's something in there that you need to share, I think, that bonds you with what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a remarkable chance that you just happen to see the billboard and then just happen to see a couple speaking and the dots all lined up.
Yeah, so that is really amazing. I'm always paying attention to my environment, the world. I think one of the things that I do is watch people, and I read people's, whether it's a success story or a struggle story. And I'm always compelled to wanting to go and help. But I happened to relocate to the North Houston area with my husband during COVID because ExxonMobil relocated headquarters. And so my husband works for ExxonMobil, and I was working at Dallas College, talent management. Before that, I was doing all the work from government to Chamber of Commerce in Irving, and so I was also teaching, and I was helping the community, very involved since 2005. I believe that give back to the community, right? So yes, I work for an employer, but I'm also involved in the community, and even through my church. And so now I get to get paid. I get paid to serve, my community, but also my background is business. My entire background is business. I love building businesses and helping businesses grow, no matter where they are. And that's where I thrive. I do very well when it comes to helping the business, whether it's a small business or if I'm a big corporation and I'm just an individual contributor. I will find a way how I can always leave the place a better, the place a better place. But when it comes to the human being, including myself, I believe that there's always so much potential to tap and to bring the business and the individual together. So consider me the bridge, and that's why whenever I see those opportunities, I spot those opportunities, and then I make that connection. And it just happens. It just happens so naturally. So whether that's a talent or whether that's practice and more practice over the past 20 years.
It's a passion, I think. So what's the biggest need for your organization right now? If you were to have that crystal ball and you had that genie, maybe the genie that came out of the bottle, and you said, hey, grant me 3 wishes. You get 3 wishes. What does your organization need? What's the biggest need to help you guys continue to help
Absolutely.
people?
The need, of course, we all know we are a nonprofit, and we are so grateful with all the resource partners that contribute. But the greatest need really is that we want to share this message to with anyone, the community, right? We want everyone who needs support, whether it's to find employment or just to upskill, reskill, and anyone who has not had the opportunity to read or learn about WorkFaith. Our website is workfaith.org. And the greatest need that we want to fulfill is to have anyone who's desiring long-term employment find that long-term employment. That's our mission. Our vision is that they will go to a place where they can fulfill that mission and share their faith if they are believers. But it is our biggest need is tell others what we do and how we are here breaking the cycle of poverty and disrupting those families that have lived in those situations for generation after generation. If we share that story with them and how others have overcome, we believe that then we can live these communities better than how we found them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you were there this morning at Maximize Our Membership, and with you guys being new members and having a lot of opportunities in Harris County, where anything we can do up here to help leverage our resources to help you spread the word. All you got to do is ask, and we'll figure out a way to make that happen.
Thank you, Scott. And Harris County, Montgomery County, Texas as a whole is so big, right? Mm-hmm. One of the issues that we have encountered with, besides needing a second chance, is transportation. And that is one of the reasons I'm in this area now, North Houston, and going around, because the hope is that we have employers in the zip codes where the communities reside. So they don't have to drive to Houston or drive to certain zip codes. That has been very, very hard for not only the individuals that are earning low wages, but having to drive, and then inflation and transportation costs and a lot of other related costs. We want the community in Conroe to work in Conroe, live in Conroe, send their children to the Conroe high schools, right, and the schools. And so we want those communities that United Way is representing and saying, you live in this community, we want you to work here, we want you to thrive here. And this is the big mission, aiming long term. So our vision for the next decade is that we help those communities stay where they live and thrive where they live, and the employers will. In fact, I did a call to action with one of the candidates for city council and said, bring businesses to Conroe so that communities that live here, they don't have to move or struggle, and they can keep more money on their pocket because they get to work only 10 miles radius instead of 1 hour away or 2 hours away.
That's great. You say, and I was looking on my phone because I want to make sure I got their names right, but the CEO of the United Way, Amanda McMillan, and Angel Harris will both be coming up on the 5th along with Michelle O'Rourke, and I'm kind of giving them a tour of this area and giving them kind of the Chamber of Commerce tour. Michelle is very familiar with our community. She lives in our community, but more centered in the Woodlands area. But we're bringing them all up here and going to show off Conroe, Willis, and the Montgomery area that what we serve, to kind of tell them and show them a different perspective. A lot of history with United Way, and we had our own United Way, and then it was absorbed by Houston. So we want to try to get them reeled back in, because there's still a lot of need, and as we continue to grow, the need, the economic growth brings more need for those that are struggling.
Absolutely. So United Way is a tremendous partnership that we have with them, along with many other members, and so anything that we can do also, as I'm going out and about bringing messages to the chamber, sending you individuals. I just messaged an individual. She has her business in Conroe, and I just happened to intersect with her the other day, and I said, are you a member of the Chamber of Commerce, Conroe specifically because you live here? So if we tell others about what the chamber does, and again, a lot of people think, those nonprofits or chambers of commerce, it's all about membership. It's not. Really, it's threading together, building community together, supporting each other. And just like I shared, I'm a strong believer. So investing in each other, the return on investment pays off immediately. Here is one example.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in, and we really appreciate your membership. But I think above and beyond that, a friendship and relationship, and whatever we need to do to help you spread the word of your great organization, just all you got to do is ask.
Thank you very much, and you will be seeing me, and hopefully one day you get to visit a little bit, to the south, 610, 290, make the drive.
Yeah.
And but yes, I'll be coming back. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. We can find out more on your website, workfaith.org.
That is
Yes?
correct.
Okay. All right, and we will be right back. Thanks so much.
Thank you.